fast, crossing county lines just to make my name in the city. Took everything, put it on the line, cause I never played go back down. One shot is to or die. Crossing county lines just to make my name in the city. Took everything, put it on the line, cause I never played go back down. One shot is or die. Everybody knows that. Don't hold back, got you on the jet. Go DJ, that's MOMMA jet. The only thing, the crossing county lines just to make my name in the city. Cause I never put it on the line, cause I never played go back down. One shot is or die. Solomon, I had to get Solomon, I had to get I ain't got a problem, crazy going on that one night. You with a problem, got me going on that one night. I'm going to but if you started, we gon' finish it. Welcome to the wild side. We gon' finish it. Everybody know that. Don't hold back, got you on the jet. No DJ, that's MOMMA jet. I'm a king, I'm reign on the top.
I'm running the kingdom with all my ability, using my strength and agility. Money with all my ability, using my strength and agility.
Crossing county lines, just to make my name everything, put it on the line, cause I never break back down. One shot is before I die. Don't hold back, don't hold back, don't hold back, don't hold back.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. We are so excited. Thank you guys for coming. We have some great information today that we're going to be sharing. We're doing it a little differently. And yes, it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, because we have Congresswoman Robin Kelly, and she's going to be joining us, but in a little different fashion, as you guys might guess from our politicians and what's going on in the world. But my name's Saria Rigo. I'm an associate over here at World Financial Group, and I am the brainchild behind the Black Wealth series. And I have my beautiful team that helped me create it, as you guys saw in the commercial a moment ago. And the reason why we created the Black Wealth Matters educational series was because when George Floyd was murdered, like so many other people, we were just trying to figure out what we can do. And we were out there marching as an office, as a team. And then from studying history, I realized that the financial sector has its own issues and things that need to be corrected. And that systemic racism and finance are bedfellows, right? Capitalism, chattel slavery, all that good stuff are very connected. So we've been doing this series. This is our second year doing a series, and we've had some amazing speakers. And tonight's speaker is no less. But before we talk about that, let's talk a little bit about who we are and what we do. So as I mentioned, we started the series because of the murder of George Floyd. My team consists of, or the people who helped me create the series consist of Jamie Haile, Fabiana Downer, who's an associate of mine, Gilbert Aguilar, who's also an associate, Kathy Flores, as well, who's an associate. So we've all been working really hard to make sure that we have some of the best speakers in America. We really wanted to make sure that they were high quality, high caliber, amazing backgrounds. And we also wanted to tie that to the financial conversation as well. So before we have the conversation from Congresswoman Robin Kelly, and I'll introduce her background and all that good stuff, let's talk about the financial sector. So bear with me as I bring up this presentation. So in terms of the financial sector right now, I think finance is such a issue because people are struggling paying for gas. People are still trying to get their footing from COVID. There's just a lot going on. We have a midterm election. And we still know that while all of that's going on, we still have trillionaires who are flying to the moon. We have billionaires. We have people with so much wealth. And this is such a great statement. The best way to predict your future is to create it. I looked up and got into the financial sector because I didn't know much about college. I was actually the first person in my family to go to college. Didn't know much about college, had no mentors, didn't even know what careers were out there. And only thing I knew about was doctor or lawyer because of the television shows showed doctors and lawyers. And I did a personality test and it said that I should become a finance major. So I became a finance major and became a stockbroker. And I've been with a few different companies before this one. And I'm going to tell you why I'm with this company in a second. But when we were doing the research to figure out the Black relationship to the financial sector, we came up very short because not only are there not a lot of Black Americans in the financial sector, but there's so few and it's not even recorded. There's not even a big enough number to have a statistics. And when I say that, what I mean is we've had doctors on our program like Dr. Maggie Cadet, who was like, there's 2% of Black doctors. I can't even say how many percent there are of Black financial professionals because there's no number. So today we're going to share with you what we believe about the company and why we think finance is such a untapped market that is not only beneficial, but so timely right now. So please take notes. I'm going to give you some financial tips. I'm going to give you some information about the industry. Take notes. But more importantly, share this information, you guys. It's very rare that the average family gets to hear a congresswoman speak. It's very rare that the average family gets to hear a financial professional speak. We're doing these on a monthly basis. We're going to start series 3 momentarily. And actually, it's going to be series 4. We're going to start series 4 in a few months. And when we do, please make sure to share it with your friends and family. And we'll make sure to give you guys email updates. So check your email. And in terms of our industry, the traits that we look for are the traits that are needed for most people to be successful in America. We look for people with people skills. We want people who want to learn. We want people who are coachable. And then we have a great system. Why that system is so important is because many small business owners fail because they don't have a system to follow. And right now, African-American women are the most educated group in America. We're the most entrepreneurial groups in America because of so many issues in corporate America. We don't get paid enough. We're overworked. There are microaggressions. There are all types of things that have kind of pushed us out of corporate America. But we believe that we're a great home for people if they're into that entrepreneurial mindset without being by themselves. So there's an immense need for our products and services. We have a great business system. We have powerful compensation. Our company is not political. We allow people to move up based on their skill and production. And that's just part of our core values with our integrity. And right now, if you look at these statistics, we have one of our speakers, he goes, this is America. When we say America, we usually mean white America, right? And in America, when white America catches a cold, Black America catches the flu or pneumonia. So all of these statistics, they are even worse for communities of color. They're even worse for women. They're even worse for Black people. And this is what we know. And this isn't good either. But we know that there's a way to help it. So most families, they're living with stress from just bad preparation. They don't have enough money saved. They don't know how they're going to reach their goals, if they're even planning their goals. So often people, I talk to people and all they're doing is planning a vacation. That's their goal. That's their intention. That's not a goal. Consider that we're in a position now where we can start thinking about generations to come. We have to. If we don't, it won't happen. And financial stress can devastate people. Sometimes I hear people saying, 40-year-olds like my grandfather just passed. And I'm like, wow, you're 40, your grandfather just passed. Most of us in the Black community, our families don't even, our grandfathers, our grandmothers, they don't live that long. And I wonder if the financial stress that systemic racism has created by just leveraging and weaponizing poverty against communities of color, if that has something to do with it, right? Because financial stress is a big factor. As a matter of fact, in the finance world, we say that if a person's retirement drops to half while they're retired, there's a high probability of them passing away within 2 years. Imagine financial stress always all throughout your life, never having enough money, always trying to figure things out, always stressing. What impact can that have? Devastating. So what we're doing is we're creating a company that not only can help the middle income, but we can help different communities of color. And so today I'm going to be talking more about the Black community because that's what this series is about. But we want to impact and influence and transform every community because we know that that rising ship, what is it? That rising tide will lift all ships. So we want to reach out to those middle income business owners. And right now in California, if you guys know this, there's a rule that says by this summer, if you have over 5 full-time employees, most small business owners have 10 full-time employees. But if you have 5 full-time employees, it's mandatory for you to have a retirement plan for them. Mandatory, which means that if you don't have it, there's a punishment. Our fear is that so many small business owners are just, trying to survive, getting from point A to B, and they don't know that this is going to happen. Meanwhile, they're going to have a tax penalty when they're just getting themselves all together from COVID. And because of social media, and not to mention reality show people can't even afford their lifestyles, right? There are so many reality television people who end up going to jail for some sort of financial issue because right now there's such a distorted image of wealth, right? We're taught that wealth is just gratuitous spending on luxury items. That's what we see. We see it on social media. We see it here. We see it there. But what we want you to consider is not wealth, but financial independence. And financial independence is such a great term. But in the Black community, I just want to kind of take it back to what's so. In the Black community, we have a Black tax, right? And that's where if you're successful, you're going to help your family, you're going to help your friends, you're going to help people who are not as financially successful, because if you don't, no one will. And you know firsthand that their poverty can be used against them in a way that they might not be able to recover, right? So we have the wealth, we have the Black tax, then we actually have taxes. The way that Black folks earn their money is usually through being employees. As a matter of fact, there's a book called The Whiteness of Wealth by tax attorney Dorothy Brown that talks about how in our households, you'll have a high earning professional married to another high earning professional. In California, if you're 2 high earning professionals and you're making, over $500,000, you're going to be in the highest tax bracket. As a matter of fact, you're going to be pretty much taxed at about 51%, potentially with the federal and state tax. So now we have just taxes plus the Black tax. But what I want to have you guys consider is that the financial independence can also be a part of our responsibility, in the sense that the way that we're going to create this financial independence is saving more, spending less, investing and all that good stuff. But also consider that being a business owner, like being an associate with our company, we're business owners. It allows you a tax break. Right. And what I did when I became a business owner, in addition to leveraging all the great taxes I get from being a business owner, I went to Chicago and I opened an office, and I have my family, my high school friends, my college friends, all the people that I love and care for in the trenches with me, learning financial education, going out and helping their friends and families. I was in Chicago for 2 years, and you guys, that's where I'm from. I'm in Los Angeles now. And I know that my relationship with this company allowed me to change lives. I've never been able to do that before. with any other company that I've been with, and I've been with about 3 to 4 of them. So we're trying to create financial independence by leveraging our communities and giving them access to everything we have access to, not just hoarding it. So that when they do decide to buy the real estate, so when they do decide to have brick and mortar businesses, they're doing it in the right way so that they're maximizing their cash flow, minimizing their taxes, and they're creating that as a lifestyle for their generations too. And as a financial professional, our goal is to really educate. So I know I'm going to be touching on some things today that you guys haven't heard. So will Congresswoman Robin Kelly. But consider that these are important topics that we need to have conversations about. And not only do I want you to hear them, but I would love for you to share them as well, and use the chat room and have some conversations here with each other, make friends, follow each other on social media, and really understand that this is a community that is also invested in this conversation, regardless of their backgrounds. So now I want to talk about some basic financial concepts. This is a finance 101 class, or pre-finance, if you will. The first one is the rule of 72. So the way the rule of 72 works, if you take 72 and divide it by the interest rate of whatever your investment is getting, it's going to give you the years it takes for your money to double. So let's say we have a newborn, we give them $10,000. By the time they're 35, if they're getting 2% interest, they're going to have $19,000. And by the time they're 70, they're going to have $39,000. That's not good. At 6%, 72 into 6 means our money's going to double every 12 years. So the same newborn with its $10,000, by the time they're 48, they're going to have $163,000. The problem is, what newborn are we giving $10,000 to? Very few, right? And not only that, but we have to say that most people in America, regardless of their age and race, don't have $10,000 saved, right? Regardless of how much they make, they just aren't good savers. So we're trying to change that space and create more savers. And then there's always this energy of, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'll get to it later. I'll get to it after I get done paying off my student loan debt. I'll get to it after I get done with this credit card. I'll get to it after my car is paid off, like later. But there's a cost to waiting. So if this 30-year-old kid started saving the same amount as this 40-year-old person, that's $2,500 a year, and he stops at age 55, or she stops at age 55, they will have $200,000 or so saved by age 65. The 40-year-old would only have $125,000. That's a $78,000 difference from 10 years of waiting. So the time is always, always now. Just put aside something for yourselves. And if you're not sure how or where, I'll help you with that. And our favorite thing, and what made me come to this company, you guys, is that we have honest, truthful conversations about taxes, right? The way that America works is they really celebrate business owners. Business owners pay the least in taxes. It's not my opinion. It just is what's so. As a new CPA. And so they're minimizing their income through their business or through their real estate. And then they're also taking those, our one percenters, they're also taking their money and putting it into tax advantage vehicles where they're not paying taxes anymore. So by the time we see them, they come on our radar, like a Mitt Romney, who's making $24 million a year, paying about 3.9% in taxes. And these are just some of the questions that we have you ask yourself, and we cover all of the areas that relate to wealth. And we do this for no charge. And even better, these are some of the companies we work with. But it's not just those. It's also Prudential, John Hancock, MetLife, some of the biggest companies in America. Why that's important is because as a child growing up on the south side of Chicago, I remember very clearly when my family didn't have enough money. And when they didn't have enough money, we always got the generic stuff, right? That's all we can get. But I only recently learned from one of my business partners here that nothing is as expensive as cheap. Cheap costs us all. So what I love about our company is we're not pretending that cheap is better. We're giving everyone access to the same products, regardless of what amount they're saving. They can save $50 a month or $50,000 a month. It doesn't matter. We're giving them access to the top-notch companies that they're familiar with, that they know and trust. And that's important for me. But as a business, you guys, as a business, what makes us unique is that we're a hybrid. We're a hybrid of the traditional financial service companies, where they had very professional organizations, but they were also a bit of a boiler room, a bit of a Shark Tank. And then we're a mixture of these newer companies where you can recruit, but they're kind of, sometimes they can be seen as unprofessional and kind of a get rich quick scheme. We're the best of both worlds. We have the professionalism, we have the reputation, we have the partnerships, but we also allow everyday people without finance backgrounds to come take part in this and participate. And if you're a person who already has your career, you're like, I have my career, I bust my butt to get it, I have a master's and blah, 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 I'm good. You might be good, but remember that Black tax. We can give out money, but we can also give out opportunity. The opportunity is always going to be received better, because what I didn't tell you guys is this. When I was younger, I made a lot of money modeling, and I gave a lot of money away. And it wasn't until I started giving away education, advice, knowledge, that it actually made a difference. Now I can give people money and know that they're okay, if they even need it, right? But I wasn't able, I could not outpay financial ignorance. I can't out earn financial ignorance. I can't throw money at it. If someone doesn't have the financial education, there's nothing we can do for them. Everything is going to be temporary. So if you're good, great. Your family's not. There's no way. Your community's not. Somebody around you is not. There's no way that they can be. So give them this opportunity. Let them decide for themselves. We are not, we don't judge. If they have a good heart and integrity, we want them. So we're giving people a chance to be business owners. We're giving them a chance to be trained by industry professionals. We have a high standard of professionalism. We have access to those well-known products I talked about, great environment, and we have mentorship. So many small businesses fail because they don't have mentorship. And we have a great ways for people to earn money. There's nothing political here. As long as you're working hard, we're working hard with you. So you guys, in the interest of time, we're going to stop here. And what I want you guys to know is that we're here. So my link, if you guys are interested, just schedule some time with me. But I'm ready to talk about Congresswoman Robin Kelly now. So Congresswoman Robin Kelly, you guys, I know her because we went to college together. That's not true. She and I went to the same college. We did not go to college together. She's a little older than me. And she's actually one of my sorority sisters. I'm a Sigma Gamma Rho. And she pledged before me, but she loves the sorority. She loves all sororities. And she just loves people in general. She's such a kind woman. And I want to give you guys a little bit about her background. So improving our nation's health requires a dedicated and holistic advancement of access to quality and affordable health care, as well as strong focus on promoting physical fitness, nutrition, and preventative medicine, including increased access to oral health care and healthcare innovation. Congresswoman Robin Kelly is all about preventative and making sure that everyone has access to not only healthcare, but technology. She's such a great heart. And in the United States, in terms of our series, which we're talking about the Black mortality, there's an estimated 700 pregnancy-related deaths per year, and 60% of these are considered preventable. The crisis is most severe for Black mothers in America because of a lot of the issues that we discussed in the previous Black Wealth Matters series with everyone from our doctors like Dr. Maggie Cadet to our doula that we had, Sharice Fortes. The maternal health crisis has disproportionately impacted Black, Indigenous, and people of color for far too long, said Congresswoman Kelly. We need to develop and share best practices to improve maternal health outcomes, but we also need to address some of the underlying biases among the medical professionals that might interfere with delivering the best maternal care. While this crisis may not be eradicated overnight, the Maternal Health Quality Improvement Act, along with the more comprehensive MOMMA's Act, present tangible steps we can take to reduce maternal mortality and morbidity. So you guys, without further ado, I was not able to get Congresswoman live because we have so many issues, but she did make time to speak to us through a recording. And if you have questions, just ask them in the chat room, and I might know the answer. And if I don't, I'll let you know. But we have so many experts. We have doctors in this room. We have so many amazing people, past speakers that might be able to ask this question for you or answer the question for you. So please still ask. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Congresswoman Robin Kelly, for allowing us this opportunity to learn more about what you're up to in terms of helping Black women and girls and creating some safety for us. So I've already done your bio off camera. So I just want to get straight to it.
Okay.
What would you like to share with us in terms of what you're working on and what you see for the future?
Well, I have a very heavy healthcare portfolio, and a lot of the portfolio is around decreasing, or I would like to say eliminating, health disparities and inequities. I've worked a lot with maternal mortality, gun violence, which I think is a public health crisis. So I put that in the healthcare arena, diversifying clinical trials, because still not enough of us are involved in clinical trials, and also diversifying the healthcare pipeline. It doesn't mean that everyone has to be a doctor or a nurse, but the healthcare field is wide and varied, and there needs to be more people of color in the field. And that, because there isn't, that's what leads to some of the issues that I'm working on, or the inequities and the disparities, because there needs to be more diversity in the healthcare field. Otherwise, I do a lot of work, also health, but technology around telehealth. COVID put a bright light on how important telehealth is, because people couldn't get to their doctors. And also, my district is urban, suburban, and rural. So a lot of times people that live in rural areas, telehealth would help them greatly, especially when it comes to mental health, because you can do that online, with your counselor. But the other problem, though, is with telehealth, that everyone doesn't have the broadband capacity, especially people in rural areas. They don't have the infrastructure. And sometimes people in other areas like urban and even suburban, it's expensive to be online, so they don't have that capability. So luckily, with the bipartisan infrastructure bill that we passed, we will take care of that. So those are some of the major things that I work on. I'm sure there's things I'm leaving out, but
no, I'm sure. and so in terms of the disparities and that focuses on Black women and girls, when and how did that even come up for you guys?
Well, there's a couple of things. I'm the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus Health Brain Trust, for one, and I think I took that over at the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. And then somewhere along the way, as far as being the co-founder and co-chair of the Caucus on Black Women and Girls, I was minding my business one night, and I got a call from a sorority sister, and I got a call from another sorority, so I'll say sorority cousin, someone, Zeta Phi Beta, and then Tiffany Hightower, our soror, that called and asked what I consider being a co-founder, not even the founder and the chair of a caucus on Black women and girls. And this all emanated from all of the sororities meeting and a few other women's groups around what happened to our soror, Sandra Bland. And so they had, I guess, been meeting and talking about 7 different entities, but led by Divine Nine sorority groups, about what could be done, what more could be done. And that's how it started.
Oh,
And then
wow.
when they asked me, I realized, I'm really not Superwoman. So I asked about having a co-chair. So I went to who was a freshman at that time, Bonnie Watson Coleman. And then Bonnie went to Yvette Clark, because Yvette Clark had been doing things around Black women. So it just so happens I'm a Sigma Gamma Rho, Bonnie's an AKA, and Yvette is a Delta. So it played out nicely. But that's really how Black women and girls got started. And then we looked at, a lot of different things, health, wealth. We looked at missing girls. But how I got involved with further with maternal mortality is someone came to me about the story of Judge Hatchett and her.
Okay, you guys, I didn't know you couldn't see the video. So let me figure out. So I'm going to need you guys to help me a little bit. And we're going to try this. I'm going to see if I could share it on my screen in YouTube and do it that way. So can someone just be my liaison and and just let me know what you see? Hold on. Oops. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm just going to see if I could do it this way. And I know we all listen to podcasts all day long, so it's not a bad thing. However, let me see if I could try to fix it. And if I can't, we'll just listen to the podcast. Okay. One second. Okay. Now I'm going to try this. And okay. Okay, it is a recording, but you should still be able to hear. So I'm going to try to turn my screen share on, and then I'm going to go here. Sorry. Yes, share. Share. Okay. Now the thing is, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it though. So let me know if you can hear it. All right. Thank you so much, Congresswoman.
Especially when it comes to mental health, because you can do that online, with your counselor. But the other problem, though, is with telehealth that everyone doesn't have the broadband capacity, especially people in rural areas. They don't have the infrastructure. And sometimes people in other areas like urban and even suburban, it's expensive to be online, so they don't have that capability. So luckily, with the bipartisan infrastructure bill that we passed, we will take care of that. So those are some of the major things that I work on. I'm sure there's things I'm leaving out, but
no, I'm sure. and so in terms of the disparities and that focuses on Black women and girls, mm-hmm. When and how did that even come up for you guys?
Well, there's a couple of things. I'm the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus Health Brain Trust, for one, and I think I took that over at the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. And then somewhere along the way, as far as being the co-founder and co-chair of the Caucus on Black Women and Girls, I was minding my business one night, and I got a call from a sorority sister, and I got a call from another sorority, so I'll say sorority cousin, someone, a Zeta Phi Beta, and then Tiffany Hightower, our soror, that called and asked would I consider being a co-founder, not even the founder and the chair of a caucus on Black women and girls. And this all emanated from all of the sororities meeting and a few other women's groups around what happened to our soror, Sandra Bland. And so they had I guess, been meeting and talking about 7 different entities, but led by Divine Nine sorority groups, about what could be done, what more could be done. And that's how it started. And then when they asked me, I realized, you know, I'm really not Superwoman. So I asked about having a co-chair. So I went to, who was a freshman at that time, Bonnie Watson Coleman. And then Bonnie went to Yvette Clarke, because Yvette Clarke had been doing things around Black women. So it just so happens I'm a Semi-Gamma Rho, Bonnie's an AKA, and Yvette is a Delta. So it played out nicely. But that's really how Black Women and Girls got started. And then we looked at, you know, a lot of different things, health, wealth. We looked at missing girls. But how I got involved with further with maternal mortality is someone came to me about the story of Judge Hatchett and her son and daughter-in-law, and how her daughter-in-law lost her life. And I never realized how poorly the United States ranked in maternal mortality. So that's really how everything got rolling. You know, there were stories about missing girls, maternal mortality, and then, you know, us not being in, you know, executives in the C-suite. So we talked about everything, health and wealth and, you know, education and all kind of things like that. We've done a lot of different seminars in 5 or 6 years now.
Oh my gosh, I love it. We'll have to talk more, because I have some things that I've been kind of thinking about from this information. But and then when you did the event with Tatiana, was Serena Williams there as well?
No. We did. Tatiana was a part of I'm on the Oversight and Reform Committee. So Tatiana was a part of that. But I also spoke before Ways and Means, and that's when Allison Felix, the Olympian, was a part of that. Yeah.
So how did all of those come about, and what have you been able to create from that? Because I like you, I too was shocked and a little crazed when I found out the way that Black women can go and have a baby and be treated. I had no idea. I don't have children. So it's blowing my mind. And I'm out here in California, and there's a lot of wealthy women who go into these really nice concierge hospitals and get the worst treatment you ever want to think of.
Well, when it comes to maternal mortality, it cuts across for Black women: education, wealth, even what shape you're in health-wise, because Judge Hatchett's daughter, you know, was an athlete. She was, you know, educated. She had money. She was in a good hospital, and it still happened to her, you know. So what we did, we worked a lot with the professionals. We worked with the organized groups. We worked with people that it happened to. And then we came up with legislation that we call the MOMMA's Act. And now it's been divided and separated a little bit, but one of the most important parts that the healthcare providers or professionals felt was extending the postpartum period from, if you're on Medicaid, from 60 days to a year, because a lot of things happen after that 60 days. So we were able to successfully include that in the American Rescue Plan, but unfortunately, it's fortunate we did, but it only will last 5 years. So we're hoping in the Build Back Better Act or whatever's parsed out from that act that we can get it permanent. Then the other thing, which we understand will be included in a big omnibus bill, is our other piece of legislation around maternal mortality, which will provide, grants so people can, learn best practices. People can, I hate the term culturally competent, but become more aware of their biases and, how they treat people. Another thing, there are review committees in some places. And I know Philadelphia had a review committee, and their rate of maternal mortality, went down after establishing the review committee. So we have grants for that also. But just, why does it happen in some places and not in other places? So it would be good to learn best practices, from those hospitals that successfully deliver babies. But again, a part of it is diversifying the healthcare pipeline, because it's been proven over and over that you do better when it's someone that looks like you, or at least understands the reality of your situation. So we're going to see, the major parts of our bills pass, which, when we look back, hopefully not too long from now, we'll see an improvement, because Black women die 3 to 1 times the rate of white women nationally. But in some places, like in Illinois, it's worse. In the state of Washington, Native women die 8 to 1 times the rate of white women. So depending on where you are, it could be much worse than the national average.
Wow, that's I had no idea. So when you're looking at these laws, you're really trying to create something that will create some sort of equality across the board.
Oh, definitely decrease the inequities, and in that case, eliminate the inequities. When you have a baby, that should be the most joyous day, or one of your most joyous days, not where you lose your life, or some people didn't lose their life. We know people that went into comas, and it wasn't when they gave birth, it was after, as a result of some things. But, and some of it is a part of, Black women in general are not listened to like they should be. And then even more so for Black women, or there's a feeling that, we can absorb more pain, or, we don't know what we're talking about, just different things like that. It's not the same respect.
I read the article where I even started this whole birthing series. It was an article in Essence magazine. And I think it was about Tatiana and her birthing issue. And then it mentioned you and the panel and what you guys are doing. And you're mentioning Judge Hatchett. Was she in the panel? Was her son there as well?
Charles Johnson, yes, he was there. But way before that, when I first started on this journey, we did a forum in DC when I first heard about it, and Judge Hatchett and Charles came to that, and that's when it really started on the Hill. It was in December. I can't remember which year now, but
let me make sure I have the right story, because I want to just give everybody a quick summary, because you're mentioning it. Is that the story where the doctor told them to call someone stat, and then hours went past, and then
right, she was supposed to have she had the baby, but then something didn't go right, so she was supposed to have another test, and it was hours before they actually performed the other test. And when they did, they got her back into the operating room immediately, but when they opened her up, she died.
Yeah, hours. So they were staying in there with the husband, do something stat, and even in the magazine, it was so sad. He's like, I thought stat meant immediately. It was hours before they came back, and the wife was saying how she felt funny and she didn't feel right, and it didn't matter. And now one of the things that Dove is doing to help women, and I think this is so interesting, I almost think of them as security guards, Congresswoman Robin Kelly, because I don't have children, but the doulas. The doulas. So that's a big area that I think is getting a little bit more traction, just having a doula. And we had a doula actually speak last week about, last month, about how that works and why that's important. But Black doulas apparently also add some longevity or a higher probability of living in the birth room. Do you guys have
Definitely that. We worked with doulas too, and there's legislation around that. Definitely, doulas are extremely important, like midwives. Yes, any extra help, someone that knows you, someone that spends time with you, and not only, when you're having the baby, but even after having, a baby also. And I think Tatiana talked about having a doula and how very important that was to her pregnancy and her giving birth.
Yeah, it literally to me, when I'm reading it, it sounds like a security guard. Like, no, she won't. Thank you. Okay, yes, now. No, like and what's even more interesting is that doulas are helping Black women stay alive, but unfortunately our husbands and our spouses can't help us because there's something that's lost in translation even amongst them. Whereas the doulas are, I mean, it's funny and sad, but it's still lost in translation. So these doulas are, I had no idea of all of this. You know, people think you have a baby, you just go in there and have a baby. No, not as a Black person. You have to do so many other things.
That's
now,
right.
Yeah. So in terms of what's next, and what do you think that we can do, even if we're not mothers, like what can we do? Because so often people think that they can only get involved with things as it pertains to them. And that's just not true.
Well, I think just in general, we need to work at starting at a young age, letting our young girls know, or young teens know, that how you feel is legitimate, that it's good to speak up, it's good to question. You know, if you're not comfortable with when you go to the doctor, you know, it's okay to bring that up. I think that, and I'm married to a doctor. It's okay to question. And I can even think back in my life where I went to the doctor and I wasn't quite satisfied, but I didn't say anything, you know, and it's important to find, you know, a doc that you're comfortable with and that spends time with you and is not, you know, rushing you out the door and that kind of thing. When I think about my female doctor in particular, I absolutely love her. She takes the time, she explains, she shows interest, and, you know, on and on and on. And we all deserve doctors like that.
Yeah, I'm so like, my family's from Mississippi, and my mom is very much of the, she's been traumatized by doctors, you know, as a lot of Black women have and Black families have. And so even when I say I'm going to the doctor, she tells me, well, make sure you tell them your pain is 10, otherwise they won't take you seriously. And it's like all these things that she's learned over her lifetime so that she won't get ignored. It's just sad. So heartbreaking.
I've heard doctors talk about how they were treated before people knew they were docs, you know, so yeah.
Yeah. Now, what is your goal now that you're the founder of this caucus that women were talking about outside of you and specifically came in just to you? I mean, that's so amazing, number one. They're like, nobody can do it better than her. Let's get her. That's amazing.
I don't know if that was correct, but
I bet it is.
You know, for the Caucus on Black Women and Girls, really our goal was to, you know, go out throughout the country and listen to Black women and girls, hold seminars and different events, both to educate and, you know, for education and awareness, but also so we could be educated and aware of the plight of Black women and girls and what we need to do legislatively or programmatically. But also the other thing is to educate about what Black women have contributed, not us just being the victims, oh, we need this and that kind of thing, but also what we contributed, what we have to offer. When we put on our seminars, most of the time it's Black women that are the panel members or the keynote speakers, you know, like 9.5 out of 10 times, you know. So, and we've done things like the cultural homelessness of Black women in STEM. Where we were in Seattle, we did maternal mortality in Memphis. We've done missing girls in Washington, D.C. and in Chicago. We just did one. We did sex trafficking. We've done, you know, financial literacy and entrepreneurship in New York. We've done seminars just with the girls. You know, we've done so many different things.
That's amazing. Now, ultimately, what's your goal?
No, well, just really looking at, you know, what we need to do legislatively. We have legislation around Black women and girls. So, you know, hopefully to get that passed. And then really just as we hear things, how we act upon those things. And then recommendations. We did put a report together of what we found, so we can get that to you if you want to see that. And it's different, all kind of different topics that we explored in this 4 or 5 years.
which is amazing, because that's another reason why we do the Black Wealth Matters educational series, because so much information was just not shared. There's so little, like, we're not included in so many things. So to have you guys do the first ever report, I think that's huge. Yeah.
So we'll make sure you see it.
I will definitely see it. And if it all works out, how do you see the world looking for the new Black women and girls, or even the current ones? Like, what do you see being the new face of America? If you can paint your wand and make it look exactly how you want it to look.
Well, I think there's already, we're changing. There's a browning of America, and, we just need to see. There's a lot of good women with a lot to contribute, and they need to be, we need not be talking about the first Black Supreme Court justice, or the first Black woman here, or the first Black woman there. Just in my lifetime, so many times I've been the first Black woman somewhere, and I'm not the only person. There's many of us, that have walked in those shoes or those heels, so, and hopefully sooner than later, we'll stop saying that. And I think Vice President Harris says, you may be the first one, and her mom used to say, but make sure you're not the last. And I think that that's what we're about also.
I think that's awesome.
Hope and opportunity.
Yes. And what made you get into politics? I've read everything I could find. I don't know I didn't see that.
I never, ever thought that I would run for office. Never saw that for myself. I did see myself in a helping field. And one of my dreams was to work on a federal level, maybe run one of the agencies or work for the UN. And truly, I was minding my business, and 5 guys, I always say that, 5 guys asked me to run for office, to run for state rep. And I told them, no, 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 no. And then finally, spoke to my family and really took a leap of faith and ran and won. I actually beat a 10-year incumbent and served for 4 years, and then actually won again, but gave up my seat to be the chief of staff, the first Black female chief of staff for any constitutional officer. And then ran statewide for treasurer when he decided he wasn't going to run. And I ran and lost, but I figured there's another plan for me. And then I became the chief administrative officer for Cook County, again, first Black and first female to do that. I had about 600 people under me. And then when my Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. decided not to run, I ran in a special election, me and about 17 other Democrats, about 5 Republicans, and 3 independents. So I crawled out of that race, luckily, and I've been here. April will start my 10th year.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. That just blew my mind. And I know you're in Illinois. In Illinois, we get so many negative things about us. What are some of the things that you're proud of that you've seen happen while you were there, or while you're there?
When you think about Illinois, you think about, we sent Carol Moseley Braun to the Senate. We sent Barack Obama to the Senate, and then to the presidency. So I know, we've had our issues with some, unethical things in politics. We've had, things like that, but also we have some of the best colleges, when you think about Northwestern and U of C, Loyola. I'm a Bradley grad, so got to say Bradley.
Yes, we are.
and I got my doctorate from Northern Illinois University, a lot of different schools, for people to pick from, a beautiful downtown, hardworking people, that are, from Illinois, some of the best farms, that you can find. So we have a lot to offer. I know, the bleeds it leads, that's what gets the attention, but there's a lot of good things.
Wow, that's a very interesting, if it bleeds, it leads. Yes, that is what we always hear about Illinois, the violence. But you're right, we did have Barack Obama, we have you, we have so many other amazing people who are changing the world. And because of you, now this caucus of Black women and girls exists. And because of you, someone who doesn't even have kids, who's from Illinois, but in California, is now being able to have this conversation with people just to give them an eye out, keep an eye out, because I'm I feel like we're not talking enough about things, and as a result, we're experiencing things we might not have to if we just knew better.
Right.
You know? So that's my goal. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share before I let you go and you go back into this beautiful office? This is not a screen, you guys. This is her real office. This is my real office, but I'm just so in awe of it. It looks very amazing.
Just, and I'm saying this in a very nonpartisan or bipartisan way, just to urge people to vote. You know, I know people have heard it before. People died for people to have the right to vote, or march for people to have the right to vote. Please exercise the right to vote. And it does make a difference. You know, there have been races that have been tied, decided by one vote, and vote on every level of government. Not only vote for who's going to be president, but vote, you know, in the midterm elections too. It's just extremely important.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have an amazing rest of the day. We really appreciate you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Bye-bye. You too. All right. Okay, let me turn it off. Okay, you guys, let's see. Let me see if there's any questions or anyone. Wow, you guys have been having some very good conversations in this chat. And I'm sorry to hear about your traumatic birthing experience. Wow. Okay, you guys. One of the things that Carrie Smith actually know Judge Hatchett's son. I need to get some more information because I've been reading about it, but I don't know. I feel like I want to know more of the details. But you guys, elections, midterm elections are coming up, and it is a big deal. And Congresswoman Robin Kelly's website is up at the top. But you guys, we need your help. We got to promote this event way more. Did you guys find value in this event? If you found value in this event, say yes. Say yes, say yes, say yes. Anybody found value in this event? If you found value in this event, we do have to make sure that other people know. It's super important. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Perfect. Good. Thank you, guys. Now I'm seeing everything come in. Yes, this is great information. And it might not be things that you can help with, but it should be, we gotta make sure our family and our friends know this, because I think it's avoidable if we know of an area that people are vulnerable. It's avoidable if we can just tell them about it, right? I think right now there's not enough conversations happening. And what I'm seeing is, you know, kids going into sundown towns and getting lynched. I'm seeing young adults putting themselves into situations where my mom's been warning me about since the beginning of time, like, don't do that. And they don't know. Now, there are some things that like this where we don't know about, but now we know more, and we got to spread the word. So you guys, please promote the series. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. It's the Black Wealth Matters educational series. Follow us in all the ways that you can. And if you are a guest, if you're from the Black Women Talk Tech event, let me know. If you're from the Stocks and Sorors group, let me know. If you're from any of the groups, just say hi and let me know where you came from. But I'm so appreciative of you guys coming and supporting and learning and sharing. The most important thing is sharing. I will add my website. I would love to talk with you guys individually. As I mentioned before, I would love to have that conversation, just a meet and greet conversation, and tell you guys a little bit about who we are individually and what we're doing, give you a safe space to talk about money and what you're trying to do and what impact you want to create. Please feel free to schedule some time with me. Just a quick little hello. And thank you guys again for coming. I'm going to close it out with some commercials, and you guys have a great day. You can still feel free to chat with each other, but I'm going to show some videos. Thank you, and thank you, Congresswoman Robin Kelly, for being such a wealth of information and such a person who epitomizes service to others. Goodbye, everybody.
Crossing county lines just to make my name considered. So everything, put it on the line, cause I never played go back then. One shot is before I die. But if you started, we gon' finish it. Welcome to the wild side. Started, we gon' finish it. Welcome to the wild side. I'm a boss, I'm a king. I cannot stop. I'm a boss, I'm a king. I'm right on the top. I'm a boss, I'm a king. I cannot be stopped. I'm a boss, I'm a king. I'm right on the top. I'm a boss, I'm a king. I cannot be stopped. I'm a boss, I'm a king. I'm right on the top. I'm a boss, I'm a king. I'm a boss, I'm a I am a king on the throne and I'm running the kingdom with all my ability, using my strength and agility, running the kingdom with all my ability. Crossing county lines just to make my name considered. Cause I never put it on the line, cause I never put it back down. One shot is before I die.